Nestled between rolling hills and quiet forests, Brookstone was the kind of town where everyone knew everyone. With a population of just under 12,000, its heartbeat was the local police department, firmly rooted in integrity, loyalty, and a belief in keeping the peace. Crime was low, the community was close, and the force was viewed as a symbol of security. Before we dive deeper into this shocking betrayal, make sure to subscribe for more gripping true crime stories. Hit the like button if you're already hooked, and drop your theories in the comments below. Detective Marcus Reed had served Brookstone PD for over a decade. He was admired for his calm demeanor, strong intuition, and unwavering dedication to the law. Alongside him was his new partner, Detective Ryan Cole, charming, witty, and quickly beloved by both colleagues and the townspeople alike. But beneath the surface of this tranquil town, the seeds of tragedy were quietly being planted. While Brookstone slept soundly under the illusion of safety, a devastating betrayal was taking shape, one that would eventually shake the very foundations of the community. Marcus and Ryan were paired during a high-profile burglary case. Their chemistry was instant. Ryan's street smarts and charisma balanced perfectly with Marcus's methodical nature and experience. Together, they cracked cases quickly, becoming the golden duo of Brookstone PD. Their bond extended beyond the precinct. Cookouts, Sunday football, and late-night beers became routine. Ryan had no family in Brookstone, so Marcus often invited him over, offering warmth and brotherhood. Alyssa, Marcus's wife, welcomed him like family. What started as a simple partnership soon evolved into a tight-knit brotherhood. But as they grew closer, so did Ryan's attachment to Marcus's home life, especially Alyssa, whose kindness began to stir feelings he tried desperately to suppress. Alyssa Reed was known for her radiant smile and gentle presence. A school counselor by profession, she had a gift for understanding people, especially those who felt broken. Her compassion extended to the friends Marcus brought home, and Ryan was no exception. She and Marcus had been together since college. Their love wasn't flashy, but it was rooted in trust, history, and a quiet passion. They had weathered many storms, miscarriages, financial strain, and Marcus's long nights on the job, but always came through stronger. But Alyssa had her own struggles. Lately, she felt the weight of being second to Marcus's badge. In Ryan, she found someone who noticed her, complimented her, and made her feel alive again. It was innocent at first. Ryan started visiting more often, even when Marcus was on shift. He'd swing by under the guise of dropping off case files or grabbing dinner. Alyssa, ever the gracious host, never turned him away. They began to share more stories, jokes, subtle flirtations. The lines blurred one late evening when Alyssa broke down over her crumbling marriage, and Ryan offered more than just a shoulder to cry on. That night, nothing physical happened, but emotional boundaries were crossed. Ryan drove home shaken, yet secretly exhilarated. Alyssa, confused and guilt-ridden, convinced herself it was just a moment of weakness. Word travels fast in small towns. Officers began to notice the subtle shifts, the extra glances, the private jokes, the lingering touches. But no one dared voice their suspicions. One officer, Detective Lisa Marlowe, raised concerns to Marcus subtly. He laughed it off. Ryan was his partner, his brother. Besides, Alyssa would never. But the walls were closing in. What was once unspoken became undeniable, and the whispering wall inside the precinct began to hum with tension. It was a rainy Thursday night when Marcus was called out to an all-night stakeout. Ryan volunteered to accompany him but pulled out last minute, citing a migraine. Marcus didn't question it. He trusted him completely. That same night, Ryan showed up at Marcus's house. Alyssa was surprised but let him in. They drank wine, talked too long, and before either of them realized it, or perhaps because they did, they crossed the line. When the storm cleared the next morning, so did their rationalizations. They had committed the ultimate betrayal. But while Alyssa was consumed by guilt, Ryan became emboldened by the thrill. Back at Alyssa's workplace, the tension between Ryan and Alyssa became palpable, only to those who knew what to look for. He'd show up at her workplace with coffee, text her under aliases, and find excuses to see her. Alyssa tried to pull away, to return to her normal life with Marcus. But Ryan wouldn't let go. His affection turned possessive, his admiration obsessive. Marcus noticed the change in her, but misread it. He thought she was just overwhelmed, perhaps battling depression. He encouraged her to see a therapist. He never suspected that the man causing her pain was the one he called brother. Marcus defended Ryan at every turn. When Lisa Marlowe once again hinted at odd behavior, Marcus shut her down. Ryan had proven himself in the field. He'd saved Marcus's life once. That counted for more than gossip. At home, things were growing tense. Alyssa became distant. Sex was rare. Conversations felt forced. Still, Marcus chalked it up to the stress of the job. He didn't know that the real battle was happening in his own home. A triangle had formed, and he was the only one who hadn't seen it. Alyssa began to break down. The weight of her betrayal, Ryan's escalating obsession, and the lies she had to maintain were suffocating. She avoided his calls, ignored his texts, and told him to stop visiting. But Ryan didn't like being ignored. He became unpredictable, showing up at school events, leaving notes in her car, calling from blocked numbers. She confided in a friend, Carla, her coworker, who urged her to tell Marcus. But Alyssa was terrified. She knew what Ryan was capable of. And worse, she feared Marcus's heartbreak. One evening, Marcus found a strange note in Alyssa's car. It was unsigned, cryptic, but clearly romantic. When he asked her about it, she froze. Her silence told him more than words ever could. He left the house that night, angry and hurt, but still unaware of the full truth. Alyssa tried to call him, but he didn't answer. Ryan, meanwhile, interpreted Marcus's absence as a green light. He went to Alyssa's home that night, one last time. Alyssa was startled when Ryan showed up. She tried to send him away, but he refused. He begged her to run away with him, to start a new life. But Alyssa was firm. What happened between them was over. Ryan couldn't take it. He accused her of using him, of leading him on. Alyssa tried to calm him, but his anger spiraled out of control. In a fit of rage and heartbreak, Ryan snapped. The confrontation turned physical, and ended in silence. Alyssa lay lifeless on the floor, and Ryan was left staring at what he had done. Marcus returned home the next morning. The house was eerily quiet. He called out to Alyssa, but there was no response. What he found broke him. Alyssa's body was cold, her eyes still open, her expression frozen in fear. Marcus fell to his knees, his scream echoing through the neighborhood. The police arrived within minutes. The once proud detective was now a man destroyed. His wife was dead, his life upended. Detective Lisa Marlowe took the lead on the case. With Marcus recused, the investigation became clinical. Friends, co-workers, and neighbors were questioned. At first, Marcus was the prime suspect. But evidence didn't support it. He had an airtight alibi and no motive, at least none that made sense. Then came the surveillance footage. A neighbor's security camera showed Ryan's car pulling into Marcus's driveway the night of the murder. Lisa confronted Ryan. He denied everything. said he dropped off a case file and left. But his story kept changing. Small inconsistencies unraveled his defense. Phone records, deleted messages, and eyewitness accounts built the case. Finally, a hidden camera at the school caught Ryan and Alyssa embracing weeks earlier. The betrayal stung the department. Ryan was one of their own. But justice was blind and swift. Under pressure, Ryan broke. In a tearful confession, he told investigators everything: the affair, the obsession, and the final confrontation. He claimed he didn't mean to kill her. It was an accident, a moment of blind rage. But the evidence told a different story. He was charged with first-degree murder, obstruction of justice, and tampering with evidence. Marcus sat in the courtroom, numb. The man he trusted with his life had taken everything from him. Alyssa's image haunted him. During the trial, intimate details of the affair were revealed. Each revelation was a knife to Marcus's heart. But through the pain, he found resolve. He needed justice, not just for Alyssa, but for himself. Ryan was found guilty on all counts. The judge called the crime a selfish, premeditated act of betrayal. He was sentenced to life without parole. There was no applause, no joy. Just silence. As Ryan was led away, he looked at Marcus, but Marcus never looked back. If this story left you stunned, make sure to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more dramatic crime tales. Don't forget to share this with friends who love twisted true crime stories. Brookstone was never the same. The department lost its unity. The town lost its innocence. Alyssa's funeral drew hundreds. Marcus didn't speak. He stood in silence, holding her favorite flower. The badge he once wore with pride now felt like a burden. He submitted his resignation weeks later. Marcus moved away. A small cabin in the mountains became his refuge. There, he wrote, grieved, and tried to find peace. He visited Alyssa's grave each year, bringing lilies and whispering updates only she would hear. It wasn't closure, but it was something. And in time, the sharp pain dulled into a quiet ache. This story isn't just about a murder. It's about love, betrayal, and the destruction caused by unchecked obsession. Marcus survived, but he would never be the same. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. And in Brookstone, they would always remember the day a badge turned into a weapon and love became lethal.